more traffic volume, you need more clear zone.
Second one, higher speed, you need more clear zone. Makes sense, right? Because if high speed vehicle running off is gonna go further, so you need more clear zone for high speed vehicle. Slope of roadside, flat. Slope is more preferable. Okay. Type of slope, depending on whether it's cut slope or back slope, I just showed it to you. Either for slope or back slope. Like that. So depending on 4 factors here. Traffic volume, traffic speed, slope, and type of slope. And that's why in ASHTO, they use this table to determine the clear zone. So in this table, you can see that first you need to determine whether your side slope is fill or cut. Fill is like this. Cut is like this. Okay, this is fill. Or for slope, this is cut or back slope. Okay. Then you need to know design speed. What is the design speed on this road? Design ADT. Remember ADT, right? What is ADT? Average daily traffic volume. ADT. Okay. Why not AADT? Because we don't have the data. we don't have AADT. That's why we use ADT. Okay. And then what? Slope. What type of slope? Fill or cut? And what is the slope? This one, 1 to 6 or flatter. What is 1 to 6? 1V. 6, 1 vertical. 6 horizontal. This is a slope. Okay, so 1V to 6H. I just call it 1 to 6. Or flatter. The second one, 1 to 5 to 1 to 4. 1 to 4. Steeper, right? Because here is 1. Now it's 4. Steeper. So 1 to 4 is steeper. One steeper than 1 to 6. Okay. And we have 1 to 3. Why 1 to 3? There's nothing in here. It's critical slope. If the side slope, if the slope is greater than 1V to 3H, we call it critical slope. That means very steep. What is critical slope? No need to provide clear zone because you must install the barrier only. Install the barrier only. So need barrier. So no need to find a clear zone for this because you need to install the barrier because the slope is so steep. In Thailand, what is the side slope that we use now? One to two. In Thailand, we use 1 to 2. 1 to 2 and 1 to 3. Which one is worse? 1 to 2, right? So, critical slope 1 to 3, but in our country, standard. It is standard too. 1 to 2. So think about the highway that you are driving in Thailand. No guardrail, right? 1 to 2. Some place only. So some place no guardrail. So 1 to 2. If you fall down, what's gonna happen? Okay, that means Thailand highway. You think are they forgiving? No, not at all. So be careful, Thailand highway, not forgiving. If you miss, then bye bye. Maybe in Nepal too, maybe not 1 to 2, not even 1 to 2, maybe 1 to 1, 1 to whatever. You probably don't need only guardrail, you need so many guardrail. That one, okay. So these are how to read the steep slope here. So what next? Now, For example, if you want to determine the clear zone for 55 mile per hour highway with 4 to 1 or 1 to 4, same thing, slope and ADT of 10,000, what is the clear zone that you need? Okay, now you can take a look. 55 miles per hour is here, right? High speed. ADT 10,000, so here over 6,000. If it is 1 to 4 slope, so it is two slope, clear zone is 26 to 32. If it is back slope, it is 20 to 22. Okay, one side only. Count starting from edge of travelway. So from edge of travelway to here 26 to 32 feet, that should be clear. It should be clear of any kind of object. Okay. Any question? How to determine the amount of clear zone? But this is American standard, so it's gonna be very wide. If we apply this table in our country, or maybe sometimes impossible because the area is so wide. But anyway, it's gonna be safe. Okay. Clear zone in urban area. In urban area, what about the roadside hazard? In urban area, there are so many roadside obstacles. All the wall, fence, billboard, bench. So what should we do if we cannot provide the clear zone? What you have to do is reduce the speed. Find a way how to control the speed in the urban area. Okay. So for the clear zone in urban area, in the roadside design guide, they recommend that at least, because in the urban area, your median is going to be raised curve, right? Raised curve median, as I mentioned earlier. What they recommend, you should provide some clear land, or sometimes we call it or inner shoulder. Have some inner shoulder so that the vehicle can be a little bit far apart from the face of the curve. Otherwise, if you don't provide any kind of clearance or the inner shoulder, there's a high possibility that the wheel might hit to the curve. Okay, so at least provide some clearance, 1.5 feet or more than that if possible. Okay, so we call it provide more lateral clearance between the travel lane and the inner facing of the curve. Okay. Or provide shoulder where feasible, inner shoulder or outer shoulder. Shoulder can help. Okay. Or a clear zone commensurate with prevailing traffic volume and vehicle speed should be provided by practical. So if any area that you can provide a clear zone, then try to provide some clear zone. Okay. What about if we have so many objects within the clear zone? What should we do? There are there are some ways of the treatment of the object in the clear zone. Okay. We can do what we call it 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 R's, 1 S and 1 D. This in the future you probably keep this in mind. How to treat the object or how to make your highway forgiving. If you cannot provide a clear zone, you can do either 4R, 1S and 1D. 4R, first one, remove the obstacle. Remove it out. This is the best way. Just remove it. But do you think you can remove everything? No, huh? As I mentioned, you have a big tree with what? 7 color rope around it. You want to remove it? You know what is 7 color rope? In Myanmar, you have it. Huh? In Cambodia, you have it. 7 color rope already. You don't have it. You ask Thai student. Like 7 color the rope tied around the tree, and you have Thai dress hang it over the tree. You know that, right? You know that. You know that, right? Thai dress hang over the tree. You have zebra near the tree. Do you know what it is? Kaito. Kaito. What? Zebra. Near AAT, a Thai student, you can take them to see. Sometimes there are many zebra along the roadside. You know what it is? Huh? In Nepal, do you have it? No? They wonder why zebra. You have it in Myanmar? Huh? Separate of the tree? It's kind of like what? Huh? I read, explain them. Huh? Like the what? We need to what? We believe that there is someone in the tree. Like the God lady or uh-huh. Like a lady or why lady? I don't understand. Because they're gonna hang Thai dress on the tree for that lady. How do they know it's the lady? Could be a man. But they're gonna have hang the Thai dress over. And why zebra? They're gonna put zebra, many zebra, or sometimes chicken, or the cock a doodle doo. So many of them. They Thai believe that there's someone in there. So and they want to get a number. The Thai people will like playing to get a number. You know, kaito or what? Pension, you have it in China, like this system. The tree, and they try to get a number. Number for what? Do you know? For lotto. For lotto. Sometimes they what? Use some kind of wrapping the tree, try to see the number. Anyway, that kind of tree. You want to remove it? No. Uh-huh. Yeah, she will be angry. Right, you're right. She will be angry. No one scared. Everybody's scared. Don't want to remove the tree. So in that case, you cannot remove the obstacle. Anything. If you don't want anyone to remove it, you just tie with the 7 color rope. Then no one going to touch it. Okay? That is removing obstacle. But since you see, you cannot do it. So if you cannot do it, what we should do? Next, maybe the third one first. You might relocate or move it to another location. If it is a pole, move it up. Difficult to move. Or if sometimes it's light pole, maybe you can move. Or some tree, no 7 color rope, you can move. Alright. So if you don't remove, you can relocate. But if you cannot relocate, you might need to redesign. How to redesign? Redesign the obstacle to make it traversable. This one, can we redesign? Do we need to use the pole like this? I would say this one maybe reduce severity. Redesign, for example, the critical slope. You have T 1 to 3. You might redesign it to make it less steep. Maybe 1 to 4, 1 to 5. That is redesign. Make it transversible instead of having side slope of 1 to 3, 1 to 2. Okay? That is redesign. Or reduce impact severity by using a breakaway device. For example, this kilometer pole. Can we reduce the severity? Yes. Change. And use it something like this one. You can make a kilometer pole using like a wooden, right? The light one, or plastic, or rubber, or whatever. Nowadays, your department also having the light one. I think yes. But mostly this one, right? So right now, the Vietnam highway they try to change to the rubber material to make it less severe. So they put the rubber kilometer post right next to the concrete one, but still they use the concrete. So who's together? Because they don't want to change it. So do you think it's really severity? The first one is okay, severity is low. Take the next one, dead. Okay, so that is reduce severity. So use material that is breakable. So when the vehicle hit to it, you're not gonna have a severe impact. Okay, so four. Okay, remove, redesign, relocate, reduce the severity. But if you cannot do anything among these four, you can remove, you can redesign, you can relocate, you can reduce severity. What we should do is to shield the obstacle with a barrier, install the guardrail, install the concrete barrier. This is to shield. S1S shield. But if you cannot shield, why? Because the obstacle is so close to the edge of the travelway. You have no space to install the barrier. Last option, delineate. What is delineate? Put some reflective sign so that people can see it clearly. In Chiang Mai, they put what? CD, right? CD, in the past, what CD, you know CD, right? Nowadays, probably you don't use CD anymore. Put it on the tree so that you can see it at night time. But anyway, delineate. Do you think it's efficient? During the time that you're running off the road, even though you can see the CD, see the sign, but you cannot control your vehicle. So you're gonna hit it anyway, even though you can see it. So delineate is the last option that you should use because not efficient. Once you lost control, your vehicle lost control. You cannot control your vehicle. Even you see, oh, big tree, very clear, but you cannot control your vehicle. You hit, you crash to it anyway, right? So make it the last option. Try to do other treatment first. Okay. Okay. So keep in mind. Okay, this one. We're gonna talk about this all the time when we talk about roadside design. How to treat the object in clear zone. 4 R's. Remove, relocate, redesign, reduce severity, and then shield, and then delineate. Okay, so it's like a sequence. Reduce impact severity, as I mentioned. For example, you see, using a sign with a very thin or light pole. Okay, utility pole, try to make it break away. In other countries, they use it like this is not a rigid part. It's kind of have some connection. So it's breakaway device. When the vehicle hits it, the pole fall down. So the severity is low. Okay. Shielding, use barrier as I mentioned. Shielding. Okay. The barrier could be concrete barrier, could be guardrail. Okay. So make sure that if we install the barrier and vehicle hit to the barrier, it's going to be better than hitting to the object. Okay, so when you design the barrier, it have to make sure that the barrier is okay too. You cannot use anything to make it as a barrier. You need to choose the safe barrier. Okay, so make sure hitting to the barrier itself is better than hitting to the object. So these are barrier types. We have cable barrier in Japan. In China, I'm not sure, but in Japan, you use cable barrier, right? Even on your freeway, on your expressway, you use cable barrier. In Thailand, we used to have cable barrier, but now we stopped using it. You know why? Because we have motorcycle. And if motorcycle hit to it, the cable string can cut the body, cut even the head. If you like riding, coming with very high speed, and then cable is quite sharp, right? cut to the body. So now in Thailand we stop using the cable barrier. But in Japan, as you see, they use the cable barrier. Okay. The cable barrier is the flexible type. Okay. Low cost, but you need frequent maintenance because one crash, you need to replace the whole string line, and you need to provide some kind of tension, enough tension in the string too. Otherwise, if tension is low, you cannot protect the vehicle. Okay. Next, second type we call it guardrail. Guardrail, we use steel guardrail. For guardrail, nowadays we use a lot to attenuate impact or redirect the vehicle. Actually, the function of the guardrail is not just protect. If you okay, if you have a road and you have a guardrail, if this is a guardrail, this is the pole or post of the guardrail. You have a tree here. When you use this guardrail to protect for the tree, actually, if the vehicle lost control and then hit to the guardrail like this, not guarantee that the driver is going to be safe. Because the function of the guardrail is to protect the side impact only. Just in case if you lost control, you hit to the guardrail can redirect you back. This is what we call it, redirect vehicle. The function of the guardrail is used to redirect vehicle and get back to its own lane. So guardrail is working when you have a side impact. But if you have like a frontal impact hit to the guardrail like that, not guarantee that you're gonna be safe. Okay, because it's like you hit to frontal impact is more critical, right? It's gonna like you hit to some object. So for the guardrail, it's gonna good if you can redirect the vehicle on the side. The guardrail has some deflect. What is deflect? Deflect is when you hit to the guardrail, it's quite flexible, right? So the guardrail might deflect like this. This is deflect. What we call it, deflection. So there's going to be some deflection. So make sure that the location that you install the guardrail, the distance from the guardrail to the object, it should be greater than the deflection. Otherwise, what happens? You hit to the guardrail, you hit to the tree. So guardrail not going to help. So when you install, make sure that the distance, we call it offset here. This offset or the distance from the guardrail to the tree should be larger. This one should be larger. This one is higher. Larger than the deflection. Have to make sure on that. Okay. And deflection depends on what? Depending on the post spacing. If you install it using longer post spacing, deflection is going to be more. Right? So that's why in some area, if you are not sure whether offset is going to be greater than the deflection, try to reduce the amount of deflection by reducing the post spacing. When you reduce the post spacing, your guardrail will be very strong. Deflection will be small. Okay, that is guardrail. So next semester we're gonna design this guardrail. So guardrail we have two types: tri-beam and W-beam. What is tri-beam? Look at the face. Have three curve here. This one we call it tri-beam. W-beam, only two curve is like W shape. Cross section is like W shape. Okay. So which one is better? Of course this one, because it's taller. Okay. So for tri-beam, we call it semi-rigid guardrail. It's quite strong. Okay. stronger than W beam, less maintenance than W beam, because when the vehicle hit to it, it's not gonna deflect that much. And it needs to use the block out too, the force. This is what we call it, block out. At the force, the normal guardrail that you can see nowadays is W beam. This is W beam with the force. Not, it's very weak, not so strong. Why it's not so strong? Because whenever if the vehicle hit to it, hit to the guardrail, the wheel will impact to the post. Post will fall down. When the post is fall down, all the beam fall down too, right? So it's the weak, we call it weak W beam. I would say W beam with weak post. The weak post is something like this. What about strong post? How do we make it stronger? So we have guardrail, and we have a piece in this picture. A piece of maybe wooden or steel block. We call it block out to support the beam before having the force. So this is what we call block out. This is to prevent the vehicle wheel to hit to the post. So if the post doesn't fall down or do not fall down, then that will still upright, still remaining upright. So that's why many type of the guardrail. We have W beam weak post, W beam strong post. This one we call strong post. Whenever we have the block out, we call it strong post. Okay. So, but for tri-beam we use it only strong post. And tri-beam, look at the height of the rail is higher, so it can protect heavy vehicle better or larger size of the vehicle. In Thailand, we don't use tri-beam. We use only W beam. I don't know why. But actually, it's time that we should move to tri-beam because tri-beam is more stronger, much more stronger than the W beam. And also the block out is also necessary too. Guardrail, as I mentioned, is going to protect from side impact. But frontal impact with guardrail can be very severe, as I mentioned, if you have frontal impact. Not gonna say. Okay. And another important thing of the guardrail is the end of it. The end of it, next lecture I'm gonna have a picture. The end of the guardrail right now, we just use the open end. In Myanmar too, right? Fishtail, yeah. Go like that and then a little bit open. You know what's wrong? In Thailand, we also use this, right? Fishtail. What happened? If the vehicle hit to it, it's gonna, you know what that is, right? Fishtail is penetrate in the vehicle and penetrate in your body because it's very sharp. So very dangerous for the end treatment. That's why nowadays they try to make it the end treatment to make it absorb the crash energy to reduce the severity of the crash. We call it impact attenuator. In the future, you hear about it. Impact attenuator. This is to reduce the severity of the crash at the end. Okay. The last type, concrete barrier. So now we have cable barrier, we have guardrail, then we have concrete barrier. Concrete barrier is the most rigid one. Diffraction, almost zero. Guardrail, we have diffraction, right? But concrete barrier, no diffraction. Okay. So most commonly used type is New Jersey barrier or N type. Very common. N type or stand for New Jersey barrier. Okay. The shape is like what you see nowadays is all New Jersey. Like this. New Jersey type. Okay, this is the barrier that you have seen nowadays. Also, the same thing. For the concrete barrier, we use it to redirect the vehicle as well for the side impact. Frontal impact not good. Huh? Hit to the barrier, concrete barrier is dangerous. So side impact is okay. Okay, this is New Jersey type. We use the New Jersey type of concrete barrier for either median, the one that I mentioned, for barrier median, or for the roadside, for the edge of the roadway. Okay. It can be either precast or cast in place. You know what is precast, right? You make it somewhere and then you move it and install it on the road, or you cast it in place. You produce it in the on the road. But every time, make sure that you have footing to connect, okay, between the barrier and the ground and the pavement. Some of Thailand highways, be careful if you go to the mountain, Chiang Mai maybe, at the mountainous area where they install the concrete barrier. Sometimes if you hit to it, it fall down very easily because there is no footing. From the look at it, you don't know unless you crash to it. You know there's no footing. That is very dangerous, very bad, bad construction, right? So we did some accident investigation for the accident of the bus hitting to the barrier, concrete barrier, and the barrier fall down. After it fall down, we can see no footing at all. Okay? I don't know what happened. Maybe cheaper or they just like have poor construction or corruption. I don't know, whatever. But no footing. Footing is gone underneath it. So that is the roadside design. Okay. Any question? Now you all know this kind of things about the highway elements. Next, we're going to talk about the safety. Because when we talk about safety, we have to look at both human factor and road and environment. For the road and environment, now you know what are each of the topic that we already talked about. You know the technical terms, median, roadside, barrier, guardrail, clear zone, everything. Now we are going to talk about the next lecture, which is the principle of road safety. Okay. I think this is only lecture that you can have a chance to learn at AIT or maybe somewhere else because they're not gonna provide the lecture on this road safety that much. Okay. So in this lecture, I think it's very useful for you all, especially you coming from the country that we have a problem with the traffic accident. Okay, it's going to be very useful for you. So in this lecture, we're going to talk about road crash, especially road crash, why it happened, and we're going to look at the accident data because in the future you have to deal with the accident data, statistics, and so on. And we are going to look at the economic perspective on the road safety. So these are some background. I'll go through it pretty fast. You know, accident, traffic accident now is become very major problem, especially developing country. There's a report from WHO showing that around 1.25 people die in each year. Okay, or if we look at every day, each day 3,000 people die. People die a lot from the traffic accident. Okay. What about injury? Oh, every 1 hour, there's going to be 5,700 people get an injury from the road accident. Okay. So what happened with the road accident? If people die, then what's going to happen next? Next is you're going to have the loss in the economy of your country. Why? Because if people die, who are they? Most of them are young people die from the road accident. Young people, instead of you're going to have these young people to work for your country, to develop your country, but a lot of them die. Then you're not going to have any human resources to develop your own country. When we calculate as the economic loss, it's going to be about 2 to 3% of the amount of GDP. Okay, very huge. And another problem is that if someone died from the road accident, people is going to be poorer. You will push the family into the poverty. Why? Think about if you have a family member. If we call it breadwinner, who is the breadwinner? Breadwinner is the one who earns the income for the family. It's what is the technical term. How we know breadwinner. If this person dies, breadwinner, for example, one family you have what? Father, mother, and the kids. Breadwinner is the father, for example. If the breadwinner dies, what's going to happen? Die from the traffic accident. What's going to happen with the rest of the member? How are they going to get the money? Who's going to support them? The family will be pushed into poverty. And this is one of the big obstacles. That's why our country cannot be like Japan, China, and so on. Okay, because we still poor. We still poor family. Have a lot of poor family in the country. Okay, so that's why this problem becoming more and more serious nowadays. Look at the trend of road traffic death worldwide keep increasing. And these are some of the statistics that I want to show to you. And this is in the country. For most of the country are facing a problem with the road traffic death is mostly middle income country. Why middle income country? Because our country, a middle income country like our country, trying to develop. You try to develop the country, try to boost the economic development. If you try to boost the economic development, what's going to happen next? You're going to have a lot of activities, right? Lot of activities in the country. If you have more activities, you have more travel. When people travel more, higher risk to have road accident. But at the same time, you don't have a good system to reduce the traffic accident, then your people is gonna die more and more. It's not like China, not like Japan. They're trying to boost up their economy. People travel a lot too, but they have good system to make people safe, so they don't die, but they still can boost the economy of their country. But our country still in the green area. And if look at in the world right now, the average road traffic fatality rate per 100,000 population is about 17.4. We use this rate. The rate, what is the rate? Rate is you use number of fatalities divided by number of population. Why we use the rate? Because we want to compare. It's fair to compare the number by using the rate. I'll explain later. But if you look at the world, right now the world is 17.4. Where are we? Southeast Asia. Okay. South Asian is similar to Southeast Asia. But Southeast Asia about the average of the world. Which area they have more problems? African countries. Okay. Europe very low. See? USA lower than yeah, about the average of the world. So if we are looking at the map all over the world, Southeast Asia, we are here, right? Then let's take a look. Road traffic death by type of road user. In our country, who die a lot? 34 motorcycle. 2 or 3 million. In our country, say in Myanmar, Cambodia, Thailand, Nepal, Pakistan, we are the same here. 34 motorcycle, followed by 16% car, and then pedestrian. If you look at pedestrian, cyclist, and motorcycle, who are they? You remember the term vulnerable road user? Vulnerable road user. They are vulnerable road users who have a high risk in the traffic accident in our country. What is vulnerable? Easy to die, right? Motorcycle easy to die? Yes. Pedestrian easy to die? Got hit, die immediately. Cyclist easy to die? Yes. So most of our countries you can have problems with vulnerable road users. We don't have Japan and China, China maybe on the other side. But let's take a look in Europe. Europe, motorcycle, 9% only. Car occupancy, 51%. Pedestrian, 26%. But look at the proportion. See, vulnerable road user that their vulnerable road user is lower than our country. Okay, so if you are comparing in the world. So why we have lot of traffic death? Because we have motorization and growth in the traffic. More traffic, more accident, more chance of accident. And why? It's starting from the economic growth. What happened with economic growth? People have a job. People have work to do. People have more money, higher income. This is what you expect to see, right? You want to have people in your country to have a job, good job, and have a good income. When people have income or have money, what next? If you have money, what are you going to do? You stay home? Sleep? Huh? Travel. You travel. You go somewhere. If you have money, you go somewhere. You're not gonna stay home. Shopping, travel. So when you travel more higher risk to have an accident. So everything are related. Economic growth, increase in the disposable income, you have a greater demand for transport. When you have greater demand for transport, you have more exposure to accident risk. Okay? What is exposure? Exposure is how far and how long we travel. The further we travel, we have higher exposure. The longer, more often we travel, we have more exposure to accident risk. Okay? So that's why these are the factors why the many countries in Asia we having more road accident fatalities because we are here. We are during in the stage of the economic growth. Okay. Some people they try to explain that this is the number of fatalities and if this is the economic growth rate. So what is the relationship if I need to draw a graph? Relationship between economic growth rate and number of fatalities due to the road accident. What do you think it should be? What shape? If economic grow more, do you think fatality is going to be what? Huh? Less? Economic grow more. People have more money. People have more money, more traveling. Fatality from the traffic accident is going to be increased. Increase until what? It's going to increase up until 1 point. 1 point of what? 1 point that you can't stand with it. So many people die. Your country going to invest something or do something with it to keep this number lower. So if your country go to that stage, you're trying to do something, you invest more to reduce number of fatalities, you're gonna be like that. So it's gonna be like more like a bell shape curve, like in Japan. I would say that Japan, you already passed this point, right? I think what they call it like a second world war. Not second world war, the third world war, right? Like you have because they have a second world war, right? Your country suffer from the second world war, but there's a one period that you are suffering from the third world war, which is the traffic accident in Japan. And so they try to have um, very strict policy and many countermeasure to do with the driver to reduce the accident fatalities. Now Japan can reduce it even though their economic still grow. Okay, Japan's around here. Sweden maybe around here too. I'm not sure about China. China may be almost on the way down. What about Thailand? Where are we? Huh? Still going up? I think right now we try to control it. We might almost touch the peak point, but we don't know. Thailand might be here now because now our number of fatality is almost steady. But who knows? Steady and then it might go up again. We don't know, huh? But in European country, Japan, China, Australia, they are in this stage. What about Pakistan? Where are you? Still grow. Nepal? Maybe still growing. Myanmar? Still growing, I think. Cambodia? Still growing. Don't be like Thailand. Now we try to keep steady, but we don't know in the future whether we can coming down or we can still going up or we can keep steady forever. So these are why the how the number of fatalities are related with the economic growth. Okay, so that's why these are the factors influencing accident risk in developing country. What are the factors? First one, motorcycle, two-wheelers. We really have a problem with two-wheeler and we have a high proportion of them too. Motorcycle. In the country in here, except Japan, they don't have motorcycle. You see, if you stop using motorcycle, you can probably go down. But once we still have motorcycle, still high. In China, tension. You have motorcycle in your city?
No.
Oh, no motorcycle? Not even electric one? Oh, good. See, if they don't have two-wheeler, it's going to be safer. Second, high proportion of vulnerable road users, as I mentioned. Who are they? Motorcycle and also non-motorized vehicle, pedestrian. We still have a lot of pedestrians walking on the road. Okay. We have markets and other social economic activities competing for road space. Market, social economic activities. Thammasat, University Chiang Rai. In evening, you go there. See? Restaurant, what? Talat nat. Market, huh? You can buy many things. You go to the northern part or go to the major highway, along the road you have what? Vendor shop. along the road. You can stop anytime, anywhere, buying food, whatever, right? Suphanburi, buying what? Tali. So many things along the highway, major highway, you're gonna see shops. These are market and social economic activities. Sometimes you have what? The market, how do we call it? Talatนัด temporary market, but so huge. Come up many people, parking, walking across the road, shopping, do whatever. Okay. So we still have this kind of problem. We have like street food vendor. People have no space to walk on the walkway. They have to walk on the road space because there's no space for them to walk because all full with street food vendor. In Japan, do you have street food vendor? No, huh? So not good, huh? In Thailand, it's better, huh? We can find any food on the street, but not safe, right? And then what happened? We have lack of standard and unsafe roadway condition. See, no standard. Even I asked Chui, no standard on the roadside safety. See, unsafe roadway condition. You see, critical slope 1 to 3. Our side slope 1 to 2. Even more critical. Everything looks worse, huh? Looks bad. And then next, we have weak enforcement and inadequate road safety education. In Japan, you have a good education for the road safety since you still in the elementary school, right? See? What about in Thailand? Do you have it? When you were young, have you ever learned about this? In Japan, they have it. Okay. Until up what level? Elementary school or elementary school. See, this is a road safety education. Okay. Enforcement. See, enforcement nowadays. If you get in Thailand, if you get a speeding ticket, what are you doing? What? Huh? Throw away. This is true, right? But new system, you cannot throw away. You can try. Let me know whether if you throw away, what's gonna happen. But in the past, tell Tengchuan and Kaito, in Japan, if you got speeding ticket, what you have to do? What is the penalty? Pay the fine. How much? 8,000. 8,000. How much in baht? 2,000 baht. Oh, 2,000 baht. What about in Thailand? How much? 500 baht. But sometimes you don't have to pay, right? You get speeding ticket. Throw in the bin. No, but don't do it now. Because now we have a new system. But I'm still not sure how it's gonna work. I mean, if it really works. Have you got it? Speeding ticket? The new one or the old one? The old one. Do you pay? You have to pay, right? Oh, you get arrested. Anyone arrest you? You still here? You see, that is a weak enforcement. In Thailand, you see, you just don't pay. How many do you get? Oh, 3 only. Oh, okay. What about the girls? Have you ever got it? How many do you get so far? More than 10. Did you pay? See? See? Because if you did not pay, what happened? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. That is the system in our country now. But we are going to improve. And the rate of paying is only 10%. You issue 100 tickets, they just pay back only 10%. Now only 7%. We cannot do anything with them. They're still here. Kaito, yeah. The what? No record. If we have a record, print a lot. more than 10 still low. In social media, some of them got 200 tickets, and then they show and they post it in TikTok. 200 tickets, nothing happened. That is weak enforcement. What about in Pakistan?
It's like quite a mix.
Uh-huh. Or they can track the location. Oh, oh, yeah. But this is a system nowadays. But in the past, during my time in the past, even worse. Because when I get a ticket, they not like issue the ticket automatically to your address. No, when I get a ticket, they will come and then they will ask me how much do you have. I said 100 baht. He said no, you should have more than that. Okay, 200. He said okay, I'm happy. No ticket. But now in Thailand, I think no more, right? Or sometimes they ask me 500 baht. I say, oh, I don't have money. I have only 100. When I was student like you, 100 baht. Are you okay? He said, okay, that better than nothing. So he got 100 baht. But that is long time ago. Nowadays, they cannot do like that. But anyway, huh? Still same? Oh, really? No, right now the police they cannot can still they do it? Oh, really? Oh, but if you drunk, right? In case if you drunk, they're gonna let you go to ATM and get the money. Uh-huh. Have you ever got the ticket from drunk driving? Huh, Chui? News. Drunk driving, even more serious for drunk driving. Actually, drunk driving, according to the law, you have to go to jail immediately. But right now, drunk driving, 5,000 baht. No, with no ticket. The police will come to you. 5,000 baht. Oh, I don't have cash. Okay, let's go to ATM together. Go, let's ATM 5,000. But more expensive because the penalty is is more severe than driving nowadays. Take a video record. Don't spread to anyone. Okay, that is the weak enforcement. Is another problem. Actually, it's a big problem in Thailand for the enforcement. Motorcyclists in Hanoi. Oh, see, in Vietnam. If you've been to Vietnam, this is Vietnam. 90 more than 95% of the vehicle registration are motorcycle in Vietnam. The country with the highest number of motorcycle in the world is Vietnam. But I told you once, right? Even though they have a lot of motorcycles, it's so safe. Just walk, keep walking. Motorcycle will like try to like not hitting you. So don't run, don't stop. If you run or if you stop, they're gonna shock and then they're gonna hit you. So just make it smooth walking, then you are safe. But I haven't been there for many years already. Now they're probably not so safe. Now don't believe me because they have more cars now. More cars, like more accident. This one in Indonesia, you see, no pedestrian facility. Thailand, same thing. Cambodia, same thing. Myanmar, same thing. Right? I've been to Myanmar, but someone drive for me. Oh, after school, the kids walk like this on this type of the road and two lanes. And on that road, oh, there's a heavy truck. Heavy truck carry the logs, the big tree, from the mountain. Heavy truck drive very fast, and then the small kids just like running along the side of the road. So dangerous. This is our country like that. See, lot of pedestrian, but no pedestrian facility. So that's why urgent need for accident. What should we do? We should actually the first thing we should understand that the road traffic crash and injury are preventable. You should not say that oh it just happened, so just let it happen. No, you should not say like that. Everything is preventable. Why? Because look at high income country, look at Japan, look at China. They can do it. They can prevent it. Okay, they put a lot of intervention. Okay, so that they can reduce significantly. and reduce the traffic death significantly. In Japan, what I heard, they have a lot of problem like Third World War in Japan. They have serious enforcement, legal enforcement, especially for drunk driving, right? Drunk driving is very serious in Japan. Okay? What is the penalty? Get arrested. You can probably get fired from the job too, right? You might lose your job too. Yeah, you lost everything if you drunk and then you drive. I've been to Japan many times, and most of the Japanese professor they took me to have a drink at night. Then the next morning, even the next morning, they don't want to drive because they're afraid that there's still some remaining alcohol. Even in the morning, they use taxi or they use the train. They don't drive because they have to like make sure that they're not gonna get arrested. Otherwise, very severe penalty. Okay? So, in high-income country, they can do it. They can put so many interventions. Look at the road in Japan. The design for the pedestrian in China, their roads are so good. Okay, so for example, in high income country, they have here enforcement of registration to control speed and alcohol consumption. This is Japan. Example from Japan. They mandate the use of seat belt and crash helmet too. Nowadays in Thailand, we also have the law to force the people to wear the seat belt and helmet. Are you using the seat belt? Okay, good. What about if you are a passenger? No, but you know what? It's a law now. You have to use all seat. You have to use the seat belt. What about in Nepal? Do you have? Is it mandatory to use a seat belt? Only in the front seat. Okay. Myanmar. Front seat only. Now in Thailand, just including the passenger too. I mean, rear seat. What about helmet? You have law, right? I think most of the country have a law to wear the helmet. Yeah, but you know what? Some country they don't have a law yet. Like in Bhutan, they don't have the law to use the seat belt. Why? You know why? Because their country is more like a hilly area. They said that if there's an accident, people can jump out easier and not gonna fall down in the terrain. But if they use a seat belt, it takes time to take out the seat belt. Then they're gonna go with a vehicle. So the government said that okay, don't use a seat belt, so that when your vehicle falling down, you jump out quicker. It depends. So that is seat belt and helmet. Safer design and use of road and vehicle. Looking at their road in Japan, road in China, vehicle. They have safe vehicle. Do they have the 2 แถว in Japan? 2 แถว You don't know 2 แถว 2 แถว is in front of AIT. You can see pick up truck and then they modify and they modify 2 แถว to become the school bus. And the children sit in. There's 2 rows. Sit, stand, hanging outside. Okay. Vehicle in Japan they don't have like that. Okay. The bus they have very safe bus and so on. Okay. So that is a safer design of road and vehicle. You know Tesla, right? In Bangkok right now, if you see there's many Tesla car, and Tesla is autonomous, right? You know what? When Tesla come to Thailand, what happened? You read the news. Tesla following the 2 แถว with the kid hanging outside. Tesla brake immediately, brake automatically because Tesla thought that is pedestrian crossing the road, but no, the pedestrian just hanging. That's only in Thailand, right? So they have to change their algorithm if they want to sell autonomous vehicle in our country. Next, road safety education. See, like Japan, they have their good safety education. So we can do it. It can be preventable for the safety, and that's why look at the graph. Australia, USA, UK, the graph keep going down, going down, going down. Okay. So now, before we starting this, okay, now it's 12:30 now. Maybe next week we can talking more about these road crashes. I just want to explain to you why it happens and how to calculate, how to use the accident data, and how to interpret the accident data and so on. Okay, so I think maybe we can finish only lecture 4 before midterm exam. That's fine. After midterm, we can move lecture 5 to be the final. Okay. So any question? All right. So I'll see you on Thursday. So Thursday, that's